bunch of. They're in your accounts now. So let's go look at it, right? And then I'll kind of dive into some broader themes. But
Hey Vince.
yeah, yes.
We actually have some newer agents on the call. Will you give like the elevator pitch?
Sure.
Sort of as just to what listings to leads is, you know, just 2 seconds basic, and then dive in by all means. So we're recording it, so folks will rewatch it.
Okay, so yeah, sure, I can happy to go. So Listings to Leads is an online real estate marketing platform. Your office has been using it for years, and what we do is we create a number of tools automatically, kind of template driven, for agents who have listings and for agents who don't have listings. And whether you have listings or you don't, there are tools here to help you get both buyer leads and seller leads. One of the things that we do have a forte in is social media, so we can help you get to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook, and Instagram. So all of these things, a lot of those things can happen automatically, and that's what I'm going to kind of jump in and show you. Inside, let me log into the account real quick. There's really 3 areas that you want to be concentrating on, or at least know listings to leads for. One is the listing section. So your listings will flow into your system automatically, into your account automatically. We'll actually auto-generate a bunch of tools. If you turned on social media auto posting, we'll auto post your listings to your social media accounts. But you'll get about 8 tools in one email, and then you can use those and put them out. So I will show you some of those tools now, and you'll have an idea what those are by the end of this call. We've also got a section of landing pages. And landing pages are pretty simple 1 or 2 page websites, right? These 3 here, free home values, down pay assistance, and new construction, they're designed and waiting for you in your account. So these will be sitting there. You can take these and share them on your social media. You could put a link to them in print. You could even run a Facebook ad and drive people to this page, right? All of the text, the background pictures, the video, you can customize all that. So there's the landing page section, right? One of the more popular kinds of landing pages, and I think everybody should have, is a home valuation landing page. So as realtors, you're going to want to be selling properties in probably a handful of towns. You want one of these pages for every one of those towns, and it's pretty simple to create. Right there at the top of the page, just choose the kind of page that you want to create and type in the town and add the page, and then you can customize from there. The third major area is called ads over here on the left, and this is where you can create Facebook ads and Instagram ads in about 20 seconds. So if you had a listing in your account, you could click this green button here, and I am going to go slow and come back, and we're going to look at all this in detail. But you can say, well, I got an open house in my account. I'm going to click create an ad, and then you click this green button here to create the form. You create it here at the bottom, and you type in the location of where you want it to be seen, maybe expand the radius, and you publish. For Facebook advertising, that is crazy easy. If you know anything about Facebook advertising, you can make a ton of mistakes because there are 3 pages in Facebook where you have to click the right buttons. Instead, we have taken the software from Facebook and reshaped it and clicked all the buttons that you needed to know how to click. That way, we've just boiled it down to 3 clicks, 20 seconds, and you're in and out. You'll notice here it's sponsored by Listings to Leads. That's because I'm in our account. But when you run an ad on Facebook, it's sponsored by your business page. So you're building your brand while you're running ads, while you're collecting leads, okay? So we'll get more in detail on this part, but that's a high level of the kind of things that we do. And I will show you on these 3 pages some more detail in a moment. But I do want to talk about 2 new things that were added recently. One is this button over here that says create PDF reports. Now, earlier I told you, and I'll just sort of stop here a second. If you scroll down and you see all this, these are my ads that I've run in the past. So when you start running ads in this account, the first time you come to this page, there'll be a big blue button and it will say, and that's all you'll see is a big blue button. It'll say connect to Facebook. And underneath it will be a little 2-minute video. I recommend that you watch the video. It's going to show you what happens when you click the blue button. But when you click the blue button, it's going to say continue as you and your personal name, and you say yes. And then it will take you to the second page, which will say, great, what business page do you want to use? And that will be your real estate business page on Facebook, right? So at that point, once you've done that, these 3 buttons here will appear. And this is a new one. It says create PDF report ad. So I want to show this to you. And as I mentioned earlier, I said there are tools for you if you have listings, and there are tools for you if you don't have listings. This is one of those tools. We've got 50 reports here, and you have buyer reports. So if you want to talk to more buyers, or we have seller reports, and you can decide. Now, let me see what this is here. I'm going to test this out. Because actually we were just working with a tech team, so things change so fast over here. I think I had this meeting last week. So here's something called the 12 mistakes to avoid when selling your home. And if you click that round button, the download button, you can actually see the report, right? And this is the report that people will get. And the nice thing about it for you is each page is branded to you. It's going to have your office logo, your email, and your contact info at the bottom. So this is all obviously designed to convey information that people are looking for, but also, you know, capture contact information. In this case, it's for sellers. So here, when I hover over it, a green button comes up and it says create ad. So let's just go do that. Right here, we're back to that creating an ad situation. But in this case, when the person responds to the ad, they get to download that report I just showed you, right? So all they got to do is click create new form, click create form here. And this is what you're doing to run the ad. You type in, you know, Cincinnati or wherever you are. And there we are. You might want to expand the radius. 30 miles or 15 miles is default. You know, kind of depends on how far you're going to drive to do business. You can change this budget and you can publish. So I do want to just talk a minute about this budget that we put here. When you're running ads on Facebook, typically we see across the country a $1 cost for buyer leads, right? And so that means if you had 20 bucks on an ad, you could kind of expect to get around 20 leads when you run that ad. On the seller side, we see about a $5 cost. Sometimes it's $3, sometimes it's $6 or $7, but usually around $5. So when you're out there running your own ads, those are sort of the ballpark areas where you have to go. So what we have here is an ad that's $50 for 7 days. And you could kind of, if it's $5 a lead, you'd kind of understand that, hey, you know, I'm going to get about 10 leads on this. So that's just one of the PDF reports, that PDF report ads that you can do. I'm also going to do a landing page ad just to show you. So I had a landing page earlier that I showed you for Pleasant Hill. It was a home valuation landing page. And actually, I'll do this new construction one. I'll do this just to make it easy. And we leave it on lead ads. We click the green button to create the ad. You'll notice that the ad is on the right. What you're seeing over here on the right is it's what the ad's going to look like, except it's going to be sponsored by you, right? So you click create new form, create form at the bottom. You type in the city, you change the radius if you want, and you can click publish. And you'll notice that we've got a $35 budget now because we're looking for buyers on this one. So it's 7 days times $5 a day. And you should expect, 30, 35 plus leads, right? That's the kind of thing that we're after. If you're looking for buyers though, the number one way of getting buyer leads with phone numbers is to run an ad right here that says create listing. And I'm going to stop a second and slow down. I'm going to show you how to run that ad. It's easy. We've already done it a few times. But like Wayne was saying, not all of you have listings, right? So if you can borrow listings, you can still run the same kind of ad. And sometimes within an office, that's allowable. Wayne, does that kind of thing happen over with you?
Yeah, as long as just like usual, obviously per guidelines on top of that, as long as it's not portrayed as your listing,
Yes.
You give the credit where it's due kind of thing. So absolutely.
Yeah. So let me just walk you that way real quickly. Since we're talking about a listing, we got to go to the listing section. And again, this is, if you have your own listings, we're going to sweep them automatically and they're going to drop right here in your listing page automatically. But if you don't have listings, you can go to this page and you can click this green button that says add listing and you can grab a listing. And all you need is the zip code and the MLS ID for the property, and deselect this that says it's not your listing and grab it. And we'll pull in the listing into the account with the photos. And at that point, it's going to be sitting available. It's going to be sitting on this page, and it will be available when you go to the ads tab to create an ad. And the reason why I'm telling that is if you need buyers, this is a way of getting a lot of leads for buyers with phone numbers. So I'm going to click create a listing ad again, and I'm going to do this one here in Auburn, Indiana. And you want to leave it on lead ads. That's a pre-populated form. So I'll slow down on this one because I've been blasting through creating these ads. I'm sure you're thinking, what is this guy talking about? The ad looks like it over here, right? This is what it looks like on the right. But remember, I kept saying we got to do the 3-step quick publish. So I'm going to click create new form. You don't even need to check on any of these. You can just click create form. But at this point, I want to show you over here, this is the form. It says full name, email, and phone number. And when we run an ad, that's the form that's going to be popping up within Facebook. And the cool thing about this is if you have a Facebook account, we all have our full name and email and phone number on every one of our profiles. So this page, this form that pops up is pre-populated. They don't have to type in anything. And it says, do you want that information? Click yes. And people will click yes. And that's why it's so incredibly powerful. Because what's going on, in case you're not familiar with it, you see this here, this on the right, this whole ad. When you publish this ad, let me go over to Facebook and let's see over here. Let's go here. There's this news feed, right? The news feed where everything is. We'll give it a second. My computer seems to be slow. What's that? Lord, that's me a long time ago. Ooh, that's freaky. But anyway, you see here, as I scroll down the news feed, here is a some kind of whatever pharmaceutical ad. It's sponsored by this pharmaceutical company. That's where your ad is going to sit, right? And now I'm lost, but I'll find my way back. This ad, as we see here on the right, is going to be right there as people are scrolling through, right? And down here where it says learn more, well, we're going to have a learn more button there. And when you click the learn more button, that's when this button here, this whole form pops up and it's got their name, their email, and their phone number. And they're going to click yes, I want the information. And boom, we're going to send them to, we're going to send them to the information to the web page that has it. And you're going to have their name, phone number, and email as it appears in Facebook. This is a great way to get buyer leads. It's the #1 way to get buyer leads. Okay. So you can do those kinds of ads inside of the ad section. You can run ads on listings, whether they're just listed, if they're open house, if they're under contract, or if they're sold. I do want to point out that the call to actions on our ads and on all of our tools change if the home becomes a later stage status, right? If it's under contract, if it's sold, we're not looking for buyers anymore. We're looking for listing leads. We're looking for sellers. The people who are looking for sold properties are not buyers, because, I mean, some will out of curiosity, but really it's homeowners that are looking at those ads. So that's a great way if you want to get more listings and you've sold something in the past 60 days, go over here and market that sold property, leave it on lead ads, click create ad, and create new form, type in your city and publish, right? Sold advertising, as you can see here, it says that affected your home value. Click here to get your free home value. That's the point of that. And I'm going to do one more ad. And this is for the seasoned agents, and this is for the new agents. Earlier, I showed you my landing page that for Pleasant Hill, right? And I said you should all have one of these for each one of your areas. So that's weird. I'm not quite sure what that is, but let's just put in a zip code and create an ad. And the reason I want to bring this up is I just showed you the top way to get buyer leads. And a lot of people think that running a home value ad on Facebook is the top way to get listing leads. And we actually have a list of all of our top tools to get listing leads. And I'll send it to you, Wayne, and you can share it with your team there. And running ads, just like I am doing right here, is at the bottom of our list. And that's because Facebook has changed a lot in the past 2 or 3 years. And what we used to be able to do with targeting people on Facebook has disappeared. You just can't do it anymore. So running a home value ad is great in my mind for branding, but the lead quality for listing leads is the lowest of all the tools that we create and of all the things that you can do. And I have to stress this because for many years, there were a lot of internet gurus and marketing people say, oh, you got to run a home value ad on Facebook. This is how you get listings. This is all over. I mean, every coach would tell you this, all the gurus, even Scott and myself would tell you that for years. Every week we train on Facebook advertising. And every week we tell you, you got to run a home value ad and this is how you do it and blah, blah, blah. But then Facebook had some problems and they had to change how we can target. And now you cannot target with this. And it ends up kind of wasting your money. If you do get leads, you don't get high quality leads because of the way that Facebook has changed their marketing. So I do want to tell you, I do recommend running an ad like this once a month. Not because you're going to get high quality leads, but because people are going to see it and they're going to see that you're a professional and that you can offer a home value. That's a very important kind of fact to let your market know. So before I leave the ads tab, because this is a very important part of any realtor's business, whether they know it or not, Facebook advertising is really inexpensive and really effective. You can build a brand and you can capture both buyer and seller leads. And in my mind, if you look at our platform, whether you're new to us or whether you've been with us for years, you can easily get overwhelmed. You can go, there's just so much, I don't even know what to do, right? And believe me, we've been doing this for 11 years. And I kind of feel like we've got one more kind of technology feature that we're about to push. It's a follow-up system and a very robust follow-up system. And it will come out this year. But beyond that, Our goal between Scott and I is to simplify this thing down, to strip it down. So it's just like, you're not looking at many things. You just got a few things to do, because otherwise you're forced to learn so much. And we just know, like, hey, if you do these handful of activities, it's going to impact your business. You're going to get more business. So I want to give you a high level way of thinking about Facebook. And I usually tell this to every new agent. Like Wayne, you're saying there's new agents and they've never seen this. So I would tell this to people just like this. You want to have a $200 a month budget on Facebook. And when you run an ad here and you've seen, I click a button and I run an ad for $20 or $30 or $50, all the money that's on there goes directly to Facebook ads. So as people click on your ads, they chew off the money, right? We're not taking a percentage of any of that. We just offer this as part of our solution because it's easy and we think it's important. And what I want to give you, if you write anything down about Facebook, it is that you should run one $20 ad every week for a listing, whether it's yours or borrowed, just like I'm doing here, right? It doesn't matter what status either. It could be sold, it could be open house, it could be coming soon, it could be just listed, whatever you want. Click create new form, click this location here. But here is where it's different. Change this budget to $20, okay? And you'll notice when I do, I get this red scary message. That's because an ad on Facebook has to be minimum $5 a day. And so $20 only goes 4 days. So you're running a 4-day ad on any property, whether it's your listing or whether it's a borrowed listing, okay? This is a minimum. This is what I'm telling brand new agents. This is what you should do. Just so you understand, and what you don't quite know if you've never run a Facebook ad, is when you run a $20 ad, probably 2,000 to 3,000 people are going to see it. You see these numbers here? There's an eyeball, it says reached. Reach, it means how many people did it reach. I only ran these ads for a short period, so I spent like $3 on that, right? $3 per click. I spent $6, but it reached 300 people. These are the kinds of things that, this is why I'm saying run a $20 4-day ad every week, because that will be seen by probably 2,000 or 3,000 people each time, okay? And yeah, some people will click on it and you'll get leads at the same time. Then during the same week, either run a landing page ad or a PDF report ad. But this time, when you run those kinds of ads, I'm just going to go over here and run whatever we got here, create this ad. I'm going to say buyers here. This time when you create the ad, you want to create the form, type in the location, but now change the budget to $30, okay? And it gives me a little message there because it wants $5 a day, and you click publish, right? Now, in my mind, it kind of doesn't matter which PDF report you're running, because all of them are valuable. We actually we wrote those in-house. We didn't buy those from another company. We've read them through them all. They're all high level because they have to work all over the country, but they're valuable information. And this is what you're able to do by creating these ads, either for buyers or for sellers, is offer information that homeowners want, right? And at every time they see this, when you run a $30 ad, maybe 3,000 to 4,000 people will see it. That's happening every week. So you're running a $20 ad every week, a $30 ad every week. That's $50 a week times 4, it's $200 a month, right? For that, and for the new agents, I want you to really understand this one. I'm going to click create this ad. And I'm not trying to be, a downer here, but for you as a new agent to be recognized on the internet as a realtor is a lofty goal, right? You're not probably going to rank on Google anytime soon. But on Facebook, with that $200 budget, you notice that my thing here says, you know, sponsored by, my ad says sponsored by Listings Leads. Your ad is going to say sponsored by whatever your business page is, right? You, the Rockstar Realtor, whatever it is. And if you're spending $200 a month on 8 ads a month, your sponsored ads are going to be seen by somewhere between 15 and 20,000 people, right? For $200. That's divided among 8 ads, right? And yeah, you're going to capture couple hundred leads. Okay. So that's why it's really important, because as a realtor, especially as a new realtor, of course, you're learning a ton, you know, of just all the stuff of how to be a realtor. But how do people know that you are even there, right? That you're even available as a resource? And that's exactly what these ads can do, especially these PDF report ads. They're going to get to know your name. They're going to know, and you're borrowing listings, and maybe you'll get your own listings, and you're able to capture leads. So that all can be done in the ad section. You can get buyer leads and you get seller leads, okay? And we've talked a lot about buyers, so I want to talk about what I told you, the top way to get buyer leads: run ads on Facebook for properties. So let's go and jump to what's the top way to get listings. And this is my listings page. So all my listings are here. And I'm going to click on the task button over here on the right. And the task button is where we have auto-generated a whole bunch of tools, okay? And I'm going to click on 4 boxes here. And you notice if I click right here, this checkbox, a little calendar date comes up. That's because, and actually it's all it does is it puts a calendar date. That it doesn't do any function other than add the date. And that's because these are the 4 things that you want to do. And you may look at this list and say, you know what? I want to do other things too. I really like to blog. I think blogging is great for SEO. So I'm always going to do 5 things, even though Vince said you got to do a minimum of 4, right? But the thing I want to point out is that to open this page, you got to click this round button over here. And you see all these flyers. But the #1 tool for getting listing leads is this nearby homeowner letter. So I'm going to slow down and talk about this, because whether you're new or whether you're old, and whether you have your own listings or whether you're borrowing a listing, this tool is going to be created. Okay. So I'm going to download it right here. And did it work or what happened? What's the problem there, guys? Oh, there it is. Sorry. So we download it and let's look at it. Now, I want to, you know, kind of just say right up front, this is not the sexiest tool in our kit here, right? This is a straight up old-fashioned 1-page flyer. This flyer, however, is the most effective way of capturing listing leads that turn into listing contracts, okay? Now, as I mentioned earlier, you can run Facebook ads with home value and get more leads, but they're so wide out because there's a 15-mile radius that the ad actually doesn't even speak to the radius. In this case, you are downloading this and you're printing it on your own computer. And maybe you take it over to Kinko's and you get some copies made. Or I think you can even email us over there and say, hey, print up 100 copies. But whether it's your listing or whether it's a borrowed listing, it's going to say, hey, we have a home that's for sale. We have an open house this weekend. Thought you'd want to know, right? And if you want to know, go right here to this website. This website is a tool that's in your account. And if they go there, they're going to become a lead, right? But always these flyers say, when this home is sold, it's going to affect your home value. And if you want your free home value, go right here. So the simplest way of thinking of this is, and let's say you're borrowed a listing. You went in, you use the grab active listing button, you pull the listing in. Maybe somebody said, hey, could you do an open house for me, right? Or maybe you ask somebody, can I borrow one of your listings to market? And they say yes, so you pull it in, you can download this letter yourself. The simplest way is just to print up 50 or 100 copies and go door knock in the neighborhood to say, hey, just want you to know, we're selling this house, or we just sold that house around the corner. And if you're interested, check out either of those links. The only person who's going to be interested in this bottom link about home value are homeowners in the area that you actually left that letter with, right? So, so you're not doing a scattershot approach. You're actually just getting, you're getting in front of people who are in the neighborhood where the home is that you or one of your colleagues have sold. So now I'm going to take us to our mastermind group, and I'm going to pause a little second to tell you that inside that, first of all, you should all be in the mastermind group. And Wayne, are you in the mastermind group?
I am. So yeah, I'd love for you guys to, yeah, I love that you brought this up. It was on my list to.
Yeah. And Wayne, if you're friends with your agents, you can invite them. There's a button right here.
Oh,
and
gotcha.
we'll approve it. Otherwise, if Wayne doesn't like you, you can always go to your own support page in your account here. It's inside your account on the bottom left, says support. And when you click that, just say, hey, could you add me to the mastermind group? And we'll do that. Just so you know, it is a secret group. And if you go looking for it inside of Facebook on the search button, you won't be able to find it because you can't see it until you're in it. So Wayne can invite you, or you can use a support page, and that's going to get you into the group. Okay. But when you get here, there's a magnifying glass. And I definitely recommend that you click that if there's something in your mind that you want to know, right? And it could be open houses, it could be follow-up, it could be whatever is curious, because the questions that you have been asked by our clients for years, and those answers are sitting right here in the system. But I'm going to ask that you all do this search that I just did. A guy named Chris Winstead. Last summer, he came in the group and he was talking about that letter, the letter I was just showing you. You'll notice he put some pictures here of him with big envelopes and stuff like that. This guy is a realtor and he was kind of new to us, and he said, hey, I got 5 listings in 3 months by mailing that letter out. And his description of what he did is so good that I want to read it to you. So I want you to understand it and know that you should come here and look at this if you want listings, because this guy kind of, he kind of skinned the cat in a perfect way. And I want you to understand what he did. Now, he does have these super slick videos. And I don't really know how to create a video that well and to have all the text on it, all this. I'm sure you can get it done. But actually, that's not the factor. That does help a lot. So if you're running ads on Facebook, like I just described, you don't need to worry about the video. You're still getting that brand out there. That's what he's doing with the videos, getting it in front of the neighborhood, right? But how he actually got those leads and converted 5 deals into in 3 months, mind you, this is last summer where we have COVID lockdowns and all kinds of nonsense, and an inventory fell off a cliff, right? Like, I think in some parts of the country, listing inventory is down 90% in some MLSs. I don't know how it is in your neighborhood, but I'm sure, it's tight. So here's what you need to see. I'm going to read it to you, but I want you to remember Chris Winstead. You should have this, and I'll probably send you a graphic of this. So after this call. Scott, my partner, asked, how did he get 5 listings in 3 months? He says, I send out these letters every other week to people who've owned their homes for 5 years or more. He is sending this letter every other week. He's got different properties in his account, so he can sell one that's just sold, one that's open house, blah, blah, blah. And he says, once they opt in on the home valuation landing page, I consistently contact them every week with phone calls, bomb messages, letters via mail, and letters left at the door, right? So that's it. Now that second statement is a bit of a handful. It's there's a lot of activity there. He's doing one of these 4 things every week. And I want to tell you, when you use this little flyer, you're not going to get 50 leads, from one mailing. I think you're going to get 10, if you're lucky, 20. but these leads convert the fastest into actual contracts. And the way you convert it, a great way, is how Chris just spelled it out right here. Every week, leave something at the door, give them a phone call, email them, whatever, right? That's how you convert them. That is a great kind of story there. And I'm going to go one more time on this because we are very, how do you say, we want everybody to use that tool if they want listings. And Alicia Pless came in last year too, same thing. And I want to point this out as I scroll down. She came in here every month and said, yeah, I just, every time I do this, I'm getting listings. And that's cool. You know, I want you guys to kind of see that. But really the point of what I want to show you about Alicia Pless is when we talk about a print letter, if you're a seasoned realtor, you're going to most likely think bulk mail, right? Bulk mailer, what's going to be efficient, time efficient, cost efficient, and bulk mailers will do it. The only downside with the bulk mail is that it looks like junk mail. It looks like really generic. And if it looks generic, people may not open it. And so what our clients have found is that if they make a custom looking envelope, some of our clients, let me take you right to the homepage right now of this group. Some of our clients are learning what some of our older agents said years ago, that they're handwriting the envelopes. This is actually came up 2 days ago. This is what the lady is putting in her mailing so that people will open it. You'll notice there's a little flyer about her, stuff like that. Here's another client who's saying, hey, I hand wrote on black envelopes these things. Why in the world would you do that? And that's because these things have the highest quality listing leads. So if you're in the business and you want more listings, you want to think about using that letter. We create it automatically. It's in the print marketing section. It's called the Nearby Homeowner Letter. So that's one of the tools for marketing your listings. Here's another one, your social media. This is a listing single property website and it's sold. If I click on the eyeball up here, I can actually see the tool. And the cool thing about that is that this has all kinds of information on the home. It's automatically created. It's mobile optimized. But because this property is sold, like I said earlier, it's offering a free home value. So we're trying to get listing leads with the tools when they're sold, right? And that's, that's kind of it. So how does the tool get out there? Well, I've got a section here that says auto posted. And there is auto posting. When you sign in, you should go through the wizard and connect your social media accounts so we can automatically post these things for you. So if I click on this LinkedIn, it's going to take me to LinkedIn on my account. And let's look at what it looks like when Listings to Leads does this for us automatically, right? It says just sold in Lafayette. If I click, there's emojis, there's hashtags. This is really how you should write any post on Facebook in real estate, because emojis and hashtags slow people's eyes down and they stop long enough to look at your post and maybe click on it. In our case, if you click on it, we've got a page behind it to capture them as a lead. And that's really the point. Our auto posting is cool, but it captures leads too. And that's super cool. So that's your social media. Now, I will say this. This tool will get automatically emailed to you whenever you go and update a status. So if I go to listings here, all your listings sit here. If I change it to active, to under contract, boom, the next auto posting is going to go out. Boom, this home is now under contract, right? Also, you're going to get a stack of tools in your email. And so you can do a lot of things just inside your email, or you can log into your account right here and do them right here as well. Another cool tool that is automatically created and emailed to you is for the sellers. And this tool, it's always the one that freaks out the realtors the most. It has some language about Dear Sally Seller. And it's got these instructions. and if there's anything I know about realtors, and we've been doing this for 11 years, so I know a few things, they're not really too hot and heavy about reading instructions, right? You just don't, that's not your forte. I understand. You're good at talking to people. I've heard this one. But on those instructions, they're going to tell you to do what I'm doing right now, except not exactly. It's basically forward the message, but before you send it to your seller, wipe out everything that they don't need, right? And give this to your seller, email it to them, and call them for 5 seconds and say, hey, you know, homeowner, now you can only do this if you're the listing agent. I just sent you something. I know you get 100 emails a day. Would you just copy what I sent you and put it on Facebook for me? I've got it in MLS. I've got signs out. I'm doing all this stuff, but I want more people to know so that we can get, you know, the most money, the most offers for your home. And this is what it is. Now, if you click on this anywhere, it's going to pop up, open a page, and yeah, you're going to capture a lead, right? That's the point of it. But the bigger point is that it says our home is for sale, and you at ERA Solutions are a realtor and created this and many other tools. This is not a paid ad. And this might be a little confusing because my name is Vincent Meza and it's talking about me, the realtor Vincent Meza. This would be your client talking about you at your office. But more importantly, when they say this on their page, all their friends and family and colleagues that they're sharing food pics and kid pics and pet pics and all that stuff, they're all seeing this. So this is a really great form of sort of advertisement. But the cool thing about this is, and I showed you the ads earlier, those ads expire in 7 days and 4 days and whatever days you want. This never expires. This, your client is telling their friends and family and colleagues that you're their realtor. If they happen to click on it, well, yeah, there's going to be a tool behind there. And that tool at some point is going to pop up and capture them as a lead. And of course, we're sending you the leads, right? It actually becomes, and that's kind of a property that's just for sale. I want to go back and I want to show you what that tool looks like for the homeowner when the home is sold. It's really when the home is sold that agents start to really understand that I got to use that. And all you got to do is flip the status on your property to sold, and we're going to send this to you. We can even send it directly to the seller from your email address, but I would send it to you first, just so you get a handle on what the story is going to be, how are you going to manage the call and this and that. It really only requires a 5-second phone call, even a voicemail. So let's pull a picture up here. So now the home is sold. Same home that we went through when we did an open house. Now it says that we're sold, but it says our home is sold and we want to recommend you at your office for doing an excellent job for all my friends and family to see. And we're going to put your phone number and email, your work email, right there in front of all their friends and family to see, right? So that's basically a pre-written testimonial designed for social media. I really suggest that you use it. Our clients come back kind of perplexed, right? Because they're like, I'm getting listing leads and I don't know how. That's kind of cool, right? They say, I don't run ads. I don't have any mailers out. So how am I getting listing leads? It's because they are using these. And because the home is sold, when the call to action comes up, it's capturing a listing lead, right? So that one simple tool is capturing listing leads, but also getting referrals, because, you know, your clients' relatives or friends could log into Facebook next month. Maybe they don't check out Facebook 20 times a day, like, you know, most of us numbskulls. And they will go, oh, my cousin sold their property. Well, that's interesting. I'm thinking of selling. What? Click on that, and boom, you know, in a few seconds, I can become a seller lead. It's a really, actually a powerful, again, it's a tool that doesn't generate like 100 leads. It generates a handful or a dozen, but they're really high quality. So you don't want to ignore that. That is called the seller social media tool. And the last one I want to cover here is the e-flyer for your database. You might have a CRM. There's a button over here that you can copy the code This flyer looks a lot like the print flyer I was talking about. Hey, our home is sold, it's for sale. Click on that link, write in my email, and go over there and become a lead for me. It will also say when this home, that home's value affected your home value, so go get your free home value. So that's a flyer. We really recommend that you're using this maybe once a week, at least a couple times a month on any listing. And that's kind of the story. So these are the top things to do. These 4 things are the things to do when you have a listing, or even if you're going to borrow a listing. If you borrow it, you can't use the seller's tools here. And you should also do this when it's just listed. If you can hold open houses, do these 4 things again when it's open house. If you want, do it when it's pending or under contract, but definitely use the sold tools. And I want to just say one thing. We're almost to the top of the hour here. This letter that I was talking about earlier, the nearby homeowner letter, if all the things that you did with listings to leads was use this letter and run ads the way I showed you in that kind of strategy of 8 ads a month, if that's all you did with our system, your business would grow. You'll find that there are many other tools inside of listings to leads, a lot that we just don't have time to call or talk about right now. But every tool that we create is designed to capture leads. And that's, so the more you're using, kind of the more, fishing poles you got out there, you're going to capture a lot of leads. We have clients that are pulling in, 500 leads a month. That's remarkable. That is really remarkable. So a lot of these things you can do that are free. I haven't talked about all those. And a lot, actually cost money, like the Facebook ad. And speaking of that, I'm going to point out an article here. It's in our blog, but I'm going to send this to Wayne when I get off. Well, actually, I'm going to have a cup of coffee first, and then I'm going to send this to Wayne. This is an article which covers almost all of our whole platform in 6 videos. And for those of you that are new, and even for those of you that have been using us for a while, I was talking fast here. This is in-depth how to market your listings, all ways to market your listings, how to create Facebook ads. We did it a few times. This one here, the top 7 seller lead gen tools, this covers all of our tools that capture listing leads. If you want more listings in your business, you need to watch this. What do you do when you don't have your own listings? Some of you are new. I would watch that video. I would also highly recommend that you watch the free and cheap lead gen video, whether you are a seasoned agent or not, because some of those ways are just really smart for you to do. You're capturing leads, but you're also getting your name out there. And if you invest in video or 3D virtual tours and you want to put those inside the system, that covers it. Pretty much almost 95% of our system is covered on these 3 things. You may not need to watch all of them. 2 or 3 of them will get you right there. So I'm going to send this to Wayne. I'm also going to send our Get Started video, which is what do you do when you log in the first time? How do you set up your account? And that covers a lot of what we talked about here today too. Well, guys, that's kind of it for me, I think. Any questions, Wayne?
So, well, obviously, I love everything, but I'm going to just make sure, since we do have new folks and folks that have never seen this before, just 2 things real quick. This is a third-party system in our world, so this is not on Leverage. It's not an ERA tool. So Vince said it right from the start. Jeremy has been with Listing to Leads and Scott and Vince. I'm thinking Vince since literally the beginning. I think Jeremy may have been one of the first. So we have that relationship with these folks. That's why we get Vince on a call at 7 a.m. his time. In the second piece of that is I'm going to work with Vince. I'm going to let him have coffee, but then I'm going to work with Vince on getting our list of agents that are, I'm going to adjust the list of agents that are on and things like that. So we'll be able to get you guys some information to be able to get logged in and then obviously get started. So if you've never seen this, just hang out. I'll get you some information today or tomorrow, and then you guys will be able to go with it. So
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, we're a big fan. We appreciate, having such a long-term client. Um, I'm sure, Wayne knows, and I know Jeremy knows, we have adapted and added more things to the platform every year. So one thing you'll learn about being a realtor if you're new is there's always a new shiny object. And my partner Scott is just like that. He was a realtor. And if there's something shiny that can affect your business and help you grow your business, it's going to be inside listings leads in a matter of days. So it's always wise to kind of stay in the mastermind group, check in with us, see what's new, because we're always bringing things to the table so that you don't have to replace us, basically, right? If there's something moving the needle in real estate business, it's going to be in this platform real fast. Well, Wayne, thanks for having me.
No, thank you so much. We appreciate it. I'll send you an email with a recap of things that I'm, we talked about, or you're going to send, or I may need from you. But otherwise, thank you so much for being on, and I'll work with the group to make sure we can get them all in and engaged. So
awesome. Well, thanks for your time, everybody. Take care.
Thank you, Wayne. Thank you, Vincent.
Thank you.
absolutely. Take care. Have an awesome day, everyone. I'll be in touch with you guys.
Okay.